everybody. Welcome to week 2. It is Tuesday, May 21st, 10:42 a.m. So I'm just checking in this week. Hopefully everybody had a good week last week. And I just have a few updates and some things to go over with everybody. So I did grade all the quizzes, finished grading the quizzes on the introduction from our textbook. By far, everybody did well. A lot of people got perfect scores. I would say, just keep up the good work for everybody who did a good job. If you didn't do the quiz and it's because you don't have the book, please reach out to me ASAP. We have to move really quickly in a summer class, so if you don't have the book, let me know, and I can try to work with you and get you the materials, because you're not going to be able to complete the class without the book. But again, it was an open book quiz, and folks generally did really well on that. I also finished the discussion boards from last week, so everybody got full points for the introduction discussion board, where you were just telling everybody about yourself. For the second discussion board, the one on our textbook, some people might have lost some points there if you didn't respond to a classmate. So make sure you take a look. If you go back into modules here, week 1, the discussion board guidelines for students right here. So you can look at those and you can see how those 20 points are made up. And so you might have lost a couple points if you didn't respond to a classmate. Again, in the introduction, if you posted your video and you didn't respond to a classmate, that's okay. Everybody got the 20 points. If you didn't post anything, you didn't get any points. So make sure you do post to these discussion boards every week, because they are important. They're the class discussion part of the class. Regarding the introductions, just amazing group of students you all are, and I'm really excited to be working with you. Quite a range of ages. We have some high school students. We've got people who are, coming from other countries and have degrees from their schools back in their, home countries. So just a real wealth of diversity and experience in this class. So that's super exciting to me, and I'm really, really looking forward to seeing how all of this plays out in the next couple weeks. Also, the thoughtfulness of the responses, both in the introductions, when people responded, they were encouraging and positive, and that was really nice. And then in the other discussion board, the one here on cultural norms and rules, just outstanding. You guys knocked it out of the park. Or y'all, I'm going to try to use gender neutral language. Y'all knocked it out of the park. So some of the roles that you talked about, whether they're gender roles, family roles, or professional roles, people talked about being a friend, being a sibling, being a son or daughter. Really phenomenal. The top post of the week, and I put a little icon, little sticker on the discussion board post there, goes to Evgenia. So congratulations. Each week there will be a top post. There are no points associated with that. You just get points when you do the assignment. But I always look for a post that sort of really connects, maybe draws from the text, makes those text to life connections really, really well, and shows very deep critical thinking. So congratulations again to Evgenia for the top post last week. What else do I want to say? So tomorrow, the 22nd, the drafts of your thesis statements are due. So a thesis statement is just one sentence, right? So if we look here this week, and some of you already did the thesis statement quiz, which is great. Notice it is due tomorrow as well. There's this video, so what is a thesis statement? This kind of is just a little teaser introduction, leads you into the quiz. Then there's a video, and then there's some additional support on tips for writing a thesis statement, some examples of thesis statements, right? So a thesis statement it's an opinion. It can't be a fact, right? Because a thesis statement, you need to argue it. You need to be able to prove it. Okay, so a thesis statement could be that the season finale of Game of Thrones did not live up to all the seasons leading up to it, right? I don't even watch Game of Thrones, but I think it's hard to be in America and have social media and not know that the Game of Thrones finale happened Sunday night. Okay, so that's my opinion, right? Saying that the finale did not live up to the rest of the show. That's not a fact. I have to now prove that, right? So that's a thesis statement. So it's one sentence, it's an opinion, but I need to be able to back it up with accurate, reliable data and evidence, okay? So looking at thesis statements, they should be specific, okay? as far as placement, it's usually the first paragraph in the first paragraph, usually the last sentence in your first paragraph. And this is actually very important to keep in mind. What you're posting tomorrow is a draft. It's a rough draft. It's one sentence, your thesis statement for the first essay. You're not married to that thesis statement, right? It's not written in stone. You might end up changing it. In fact, a lot of times we do end up changing our thesis statement. After we go through and write the essay, we realize we ended up saying something a little different than what we thought. So then you just have to change your thesis. You revise it. It's not a big deal. So again, some examples here. Okay, you can read through these. And you're uploading your draft to me, okay, by tomorrow. It is worth a couple points, but the more important thing is for me to actually be able to give you some feedback on your thesis statement, because the essay, as you can see here, is due Sunday. Okay, it's the first essay in this class. Don't want to miss it. If you need an extension, if you're thinking ahead, looking at your time management, look at your schedules, right? You can ask me for an extension. That's fine, but you can't ask for the extension Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Okay, you need to ask for the extension by Thursday if you want it, because Fridays I'm not always necessarily available. Saturdays and Sundays, as it says in my syllabus, right? I might not be checking the course page. I might not be, looking into things. So think about your time planning, your time management. Think about your planning. If you think you're going to need an extension, you have to let me know by Thursday. Okay. Otherwise, the assignment is due Sunday. So for this first essay, we're looking at a typed, of course, essay using 12-point Times New Roman font. That's an MLA convention. We're going to look at that in just a minute. So it's 2 to 3 pages. Okay, the first essay is kind of short, relatively short. The essays are going to get longer as we move on, just keeping an eye on the time here of this video. And so what are you doing? So again, just like in that discussion board, the chapter, some of the essays we've been reading and how we believe, it suggests our popular culture scripts not only our behavior, but our underlying beliefs as well. Okay, so in the discussion board, you were talking about the norms associated with different roles that we play. So here we're looking at norms related to beliefs, right? So you're going to be writing an essay in which you analyze and assess this idea. Okay, does pop culture affect our beliefs, the things that we believe? That doesn't necessarily mean religious beliefs. Okay, in fact, I'm going to throw out a little warning that if you're going to write about religious beliefs, that can sometimes be difficult because matters of faith can't be proven. Okay, so remember that thesis statement, it was an opinion, but you had to prove it. You have to support it with evidence, reliable, credible evidence. Matters of religious faith tend to not be matters that can be proven, right? That's what faith is. You can't really prove it. So if you're going to be talking about religious beliefs, be careful. Make sure that you're saying something that you can support with evidence, okay? So the question here is, do you think, okay, highlight this, it's possible to have our beliefs, the values and ideas that are supposedly perhaps intrinsic and personal, scripted or determined by our larger culture? If so, how do you think this process happens? And if not, what about our personal beliefs makes them resistant to being shaped by pop culture? Okay, so that's what you're writing about for this first essay. Hopefully you find that to be an interesting topic based on what you all shared in the discussion board. I think a lot of you have a lot of interesting things that you're thinking about this topic, and you have a lot of interesting things to say about this topic. So I do look forward to reading your papers, which are due Sunday by 11:59 p.m. Okay. So what are you giving me for tomorrow? Just a rough draft of the thesis statement. The thesis statement can use language from the prompt. Okay, that's a perfectly acceptable thing to do in an English 101 class in college, right? Is to look back at the prompt that the professor gave you and use some of that language. Okay, so the prompt is asking, is it possible that our beliefs are scripted by our larger culture? A thesis statement could be something as simple as, our beliefs are determined. Maybe don't use the word scripted, okay? That's a little too close to maybe the prompt. But you could say that our beliefs are influenced by or shaped by our larger culture. That's a perfectly acceptable working thesis statement, right? Now, it doesn't have the 3 parts. Some of you might have come from English classes where you've learned about the 3-part thesis. I like the 3-part thesis. You could go ahead and draft a 3-part thesis statement, and then the idea is that each of the 3 parts line up to body paragraphs, either one body paragraph or multiple body paragraphs, supporting each of the 3 points or the 3 parts of your thesis statement. Okay, so an example there might be that as a thesis statement, you could say that popular culture affects what we believe about um, our our um, our identity, our political affiliations, and our sense of self-worth. Okay, so, something like that, where you would pick three things that we believe, right? We have beliefs about lots of different things. So you could think about three things that where you have beliefs, and your argument might be that pop culture influences all three of those beliefs, those areas of belief. That would be an example of a 3-point thesis. So you could definitely submit that for this assignment. Again, the main thing is just to get something in so I can see it, so I can give you feedback, so you can start then outlining your rough draft. Okay. Just moving through the module, I just want to point out a few more things. I'm going to wrap this up. MLA. MLA stands for Modern Language Association. The MLA is, when we talk about MLA, it's a citation style, okay? It's a way of writing papers and citing sources. So the three main ways that you cite sources in your papers are to quote, to paraphrase, and to summarize, okay? So read through this very carefully, all right? This might be new. In fact, I'm guessing it's probably new for many of you, if not most. So when you cite a source, you're going to use something called a signal phrase, where you say, according to the author's name, author of the title of what they wrote, blah, 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 right? Here's a quote, okay? Pay close attention to what's happening here. This is called a parenthetical citation, right? This is the page number where this quote came from, okay? So I'm not going to take off too many points on this first essay if you have errors with MLA, but moving forward, you will start to lose points because in college courses, MLA is or APA. There's a couple different actual citation styles, but in English courses we tend to use MLA. You're going to be asked to do that in all of your courses, like moving forward through college. So some of you might already know this, but if it's new, please read through it very carefully. The last thing I want to point out, scroll down here. Okay, a sample MLA heading, right? So this is what you don't give me a title page on your essay. You don't put the title of your paper in like really big crazy font or anything. The whole paper is just in 12-point Times New Roman font, double spaced, okay? And then this is what your first page should look like. This is called a header. I can show you in Microsoft Word if you're not sure how to get this to appear on every page. Just send me a message and I can make a video and show you how to do that. And then on the first page only, in the upper left-hand side, you put your name, my name, the course, and the date. And then the title of your paper just goes in the center. You don't bold it, you don't make it a different font, underline it, nothing like that. Okay, and then, and again, the whole paper is double spaced. So that's MLA formatting. Okay. Okay, this video is long, 13 minutes. I tried to keep these shorter than that, but I had a lot to say. So tomorrow, thesis statement draft is due. Of course, there was a discussion board this week. Okay, if we go back to this week's module. Okay, so we looked through all of this. The draft is due tomorrow. Read through this thoroughly, especially if you're not familiar with MLA and how to use sources. Email me or message me on Canvas if you have questions. I can make more videos. I can send you to more resources. The graded discussion this week, it's based on The Restoration of Faith by Kumar from our book. As you can see, it's due Sunday, but pay attention to those deadlines for the posting, right, to get the full points. Your first post should be no later than, I believe, Thursday each week, and then you want to post to a classmate just responding to what it was that they said. And then, of course, the essay is due Sunday. First essay is due Sunday. So message me if you have questions. Have a great week, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.